Hello. Since there are so many new people on the channel recently, I put a poll up asking people if they had any questions about me or whatever. So we're going to do a Q&A for this video. Let's get into it. But first, I want to give a shout out to Nostra36. Nostra36. He donated 10 euros to me and said, Danke. Danke auch, Nostra. I appreciate that. Second shout out goes to my two community members, Sean and Florian. And no, I am not the Sean that is paying my own membership. Different Sean. So shout out Sean, cool name, and shout out Florian, also a cool name. But thank you guys for being members and supporting the channel. Okay, let's get into the questions that I got asked. First comment that came in was from Clutch King of Y2U, and he says, "Hi. Hey." All right, moving on. Next we have Nicole Kirstenhoffman, and they say, "How did you find your interest for German videos, and what was your first one?" Also saying, "If you could see my email address, it's my mother's, but my phone." Issa's here.
Hi.
We're at a public library working right now. Anyways, so... Oh, dude, that second comment cracks me up. But how did I find my interest in German videos? Well, I was living in Germany at the time with Isabel, aka Issa, aka my German wife.
My wife.
My wife! She drugged me back to Germany with her, and I was living in Germany at the time. And I was already trying to learn German and watching German videos and videos about Germany in my free time. And then one of my friends in Germany basically showed me other reaction channels, and they were like, "Yo, you should do this. You would be great at this," because I was already making other YouTube videos at the time. And they were like, "Yo, you would be great at this." And I was like, I don't know. Seems like kind of silly to me. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? This would be a good way for me to get better at making videos, get better at YouTube, and also force me to watch even more German stuff and learn more about Germany and learn German more and all that stuff. So it was like, it's kind of actually might work out pretty good if I commit to doing this. So I did, and that's how it started, basically. I don't know what the first video was that I watched, but you can go back in the channel and see for yourself if you're interested, I guess. Next, we have Corey2629, and he asks, "How did you come up with the idea to do YouTube, and why did you do it?" Well, that I already talked about the idea for the reaction channel that I have here, but I've been doing YouTube for like 10 years in total, almost. So I've been doing YouTube for a really long time. I started as a live streamer. I was streaming myself on Twitch, and naturally that progressed into, I got to do YouTube for this kind of stuff. So then I started making gaming videos on my old YouTube channel, and that was a lot of fun. But then I started being like, I want to make like other stuff, like vlogs and stuff like that. So then I started a different channel, and then that was going fine. And then when I met my beautiful German wife, Isabel, and I knew I was going to be moving to Germany, I was like, you know what? I have all these other channels and all these things going on, and I don't really have any real traction with them or anything. I want to start a new YouTube channel and start over. So that's what I did. So I started a whole new thing, which is my vlog channel, Sean Huggins, and I documented all of our different travel and stuff over the years and some other stuff, and that's kind of like my main channel. Even though it only has like 1,000 subscribers, that's still my main channel. That's like where I post all of my videos that I just talk about stuff that I'm interested in, or travel stuff or whatever. So that's kind of the whole story of how I got into YouTube, I guess. It kind of just, I kind of just fell into it because I was doing live streaming stuff, and then that's just what you do. You just start a YouTube channel and post stuff on there. So that's kind of how it started and kind of how it progressed over the years to get to this point. And now I have about 17 YouTube channels. I have too many YouTube channels. I got Sean Huggins, which is like vlogs and travel stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then of course I have this channel, React with Hugs, for like German reactions. And then I have Europe with Hugs, my new reaction channel for like all kinds of other European stuff. But then I have my tech channel, Tech with Hugs, where I was doing like coding videos, stuff like that. And then I got like Pomodoro with Hugs, where I was doing like study with me, Pomodoro type of videos and all that kind of stuff. And do I have any others? I have like a bunch of other YouTube channels that I just don't post to, but I made them and I like set them up and did the branding and everything for them, but I haven't been posting to them because I just don't have the time to, but I would like to be able to, but I'm never going to be able to have the time to. I have one for like fitness. I have one for like crypto and stuff like that. I have 2 or 3 other reaction type of channels in the pipeline, ready to go if I ever feel like I want to do more of that kind of stuff. I have a business channel, like general business type of stuff, because I went to school for that and I'm really interested in that. So yeah, I kind of just make YouTube channels based on all of my different hobbies and interests, and then I just don't have time to post to any of them. So that's pretty fun. All right, anyways, moving on. Let's see. This is from Rainer Duck 2819. What was your profession before YouTube, and why are your... I can't read. Anyways. What was your profession before YouTube, and why you or your parents choose to live in Germany? Love your work and greetings from München. Good question. Yeah, I chose to live in Germany this past time because of my beautiful German wife, Isabel. Yeah, we met in America and we dated for a short time, and then we basically decided we're gonna have to move to Germany together because her visa was gonna run out. So I moved back to Germany to be with her, and then we later moved from Germany. After 2.5 years of living in Germany, we moved back to America, where we now are. And we got married when we got to America, and so now we're married and living in America, and we are living in a camper van currently, traveling around America, doing a big road trip, #van life style stuff, seeing as much of America as we can before it all burns to the ground. And so that's pretty cool. But also, side note, when I was a little kid, my family did live in Germany for 3 years as well. I was probably from 7 years old until 10 years old, something like that. And we lived in Germany because my mom worked for the United States military. She's not in the military, but she worked for the military at a normal office desk job, and she got an offer to move to Germany. So we did that for 3 years as a family, and we lived outside of Frankfurt. So that was cool. So I lived in Germany before moving to Germany with Isa, so I knew kind of what to expect. So yeah, that was kind of cool. My profession before YouTube, that's a good question. Yeah, my profession has always been all over the place since graduating from university. I went to university for business, basically. I was a dual major for business administration and marketing. As soon as I graduated, I worked for a tech company for a couple of years, for 4 years, doing more administrative work at a tech company, more on the business side of things, kind of. And then after that, I worked for my state government in the welfare office, where basically I was helping people get set up with social programs, like helping them get food and shelter and like help paying their bills in the winter instead of like their heat being turned off in the middle of winter. I would like set them up with, government programs that help pay people's bills, and like I would be doing that kind of stuff. So like just helping, I don't know, poor people, I guess. So I did that for a couple of years, and then that's when I met Issa. Basically, as soon as Issa and I got together, I started to kind of study German, but it was a very crazy, very fast process between us dating and me uprooting my whole life and getting rid of all of my things that I own. Like I have a house, and so I had to get rid of everything in my house and find someone to live there to rent it to, and get rid of all of my crap that I don't need and pack everything down to like 2 suitcases, and figuring out my visa situation for going to Germany and like all this stuff. And it was just hard to learn German very quickly. So basically I went to Germany not knowing any German, like for the most part, other than like stupid stuff that doesn't actually matter, like how to count to whatever and like, I don't know, say some random words. So that led to it being very difficult for me to get a job in Germany, because I didn't have any super desirable skills on my CV, to be honest. Like, I feel like I'm a smart guy and a good worker and a hard worker and all these kind of things, like all the good stuff, but on my CV, it doesn't have like director of brain surgery or something, where it's like, oh, we got it. Even though he doesn't know German, we got to take this guy or whatever. So basically, I couldn't find any decent jobs in Germany, because obviously I didn't know German, so it's understandable. And I didn't have anything on my CV that would get me a job with an English speaking company or anything like that. So I had to work at basically the first job that I found. Like I applied to like 100 jobs or something. I was going all over the place. I even did a test day at Rewe, and that was terrible. I have a vlog on that on my vlog channel, but yeah, it was tough because I was there on a tourist visa for 90 days. So I had to get a job, and not just a job, but a company had to sponsor my work visa within 90 days of me arriving in Germany, or else I would have to be deported back to America. So, apart from just moving to Germany, saying goodbye to all of my family and friends and getting rid of all of my stuff, and moving to a new country and not knowing the language, not even being able to really comfortably like just get around town and go to the grocery store because I literally can't speak anything, like all of that on top of the pressure of like I need to get a job right now. So it was a very, very crazy first few months, but I found a job working at a warehouse basically. So I did that for essentially the whole 2.5 years that we lived in Germany. I just worked at a warehouse, and it was just a little bit above the minimum wage in Germany, but it was fine. I mean, it was hard work and everything, but it wasn't like the worst thing ever. So yeah, so basically my professional career has gone from working for an IT company to working for the state government in like social services welfare office to warehouse worker. And yeah. And then when I came back from Germany to America right now, this past time, I also applied to over 200 jobs, and the job market right now is just so terrible that I wasn't able to literally find a job. So I went all in on YouTube, and it's working out good enough for now. I mean, it's not going to pay the bills forever, but it's good enough with our current living situation. We don't have a whole lot of bills with our current sort of lifestyle of living in a van. So it works out good enough for now, but it's definitely not like, at this point, it's definitely not a career. But like, I mean, I was applying to jobs for months and months and months, hundreds of jobs, got no's from everybody except for 99% of the time I wouldn't even hear back. And so I just got to do what you got to do. So I went all in on YouTube, and yeah, that's kind of how I'm here. So that's all the questions that I got on the video. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, someone asked me on one of the videos, why do I like Hand of Blood so much? And actually it's pretty simple. Basically, he's really funny, obviously. Everyone knows that, but I like his videos because they are in German. But when he's playing single player games, it's easy for me to understand his German. He speaks Hochdeutsch and like easily understandable stuff, not a ton of slang or like whatever, like a lot of other German YouTubers and streamers. They use a lot of like slang or talk very fast, or they're always collaborating with each other. So there's like 2 or 3 or 4 people playing together and everyone's talking over each other. That kind of stuff for me is still very difficult to understand. So I really like Hand of Blood videos because not only do I actually enjoy the videos because he's so funny, it's a great learning tool for me for learning German because I can actually understand what he's saying because he speaks a lot slower than the normal German YouTuber streamer person. He speaks Hochdeutsch, and also being single player, there's not a whole lot of people talking over each other. At least a lot of his videos are single player. And then also, depending on the type of game that he's playing, if he's playing a game where he's playing a character that's running around and doing stuff, it's easy for me to see all the stuff that's happening in the video, see his face, the way that he's saying stuff, not just what he's saying, but how he's saying stuff and reacting to stuff based on what's happening with his character in the game. And that's like a big part of learning languages too, is like context clues and seeing everything with the situation. And like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just easier for me to understand what's happening. But if he was playing like a board game with a couple different people, then it's just people talking, and it's a lot of people talking over each other and just talking, and there's no context for what they're talking about. So you have to know what they're saying in order to understand what's happening. But with single player games where he is running around doing stuff, I could see what the character is doing, what's happening in the game. He says something that maybe I don't know what the word means, one-for-one translation from German to English, but I can see what happened and then how he's reacting to it, and I'm like, oh, he's very excited about it. So whatever he's saying, that's like he's like excited about it, or he got scared by something or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff that I can learn from those kinds of videos, and that's why I like them, on top of them being obviously hilarious. So yeah. Do you want to say anything to the people?
You didn't ask me anything, so.
Oh my gosh, nobody asked Isa any questions. All right, you guys know the deal. If you want to ask my German wife, Isa, the love of my life, Isabel, any questions, then leave them down in the comment section here, and she will be answering them in the comment section. So leave your questions for Isa down in the comment section below, and I think that's it for today. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys for just checking out all of my videos. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.